For many people in the Mahoning and Shenango Valleys, the name Kraynak means one thing: Christmas. That's because between September and December, the garden center and nursery turns into Christmas Central. People shop, decorate, and create family traditions. I'm Tricia Perry, and this is Vision of the Valley. So we're here at Kraynak's with Dan Zippi, who is third generation Kraynak family member, right?
That's correct.
So you've been in this store for your whole life.
Exactly. Yeah, a long time.
It's seen a lot of changes, I suppose, right? 1949 is when it started. Tell me how it started and how it came to be the Christmas wonderland that it is.
The business started as a garden center. So it started just with shrubbery and anything to do with the garden center. And then in 1961, we added Christmas decorations and trees. And then 1963 was the first Christmas land, which was actually in a greenhouse, and it evolved from there. So, of course, all the Christmas lands are new from year to year. We don't repeat the same thing.
Do you remember who had the idea to start sort of a Christmas land that you actually look at and visit and get ideas from?
It was actually my grandfather's sons, George and John Kraynak, and the garden center gets slow in the wintertime, so they were wondering what can we do in the winter months, and they started with some artificial trees and decorations, and did a Christmas land in one of the greenhouses with approximately about 10 trees.
And then it started to pick up speed because people came to it, right? You had lines probably right from the beginning.
Exactly. It was always free, and the display's free today. And as people came and saw the decorated trees, gave them decorating ideas, and we kept expanding on that.
So as I recall, when I started to come to it years and years ago, now you kind of walk through a tunnel where you look at all of these different displays. When did that start?
Christmas Land is actually, as I mentioned, it started in the greenhouse, and then it was in our main store, and then it's in an area adjacent to the main store. It's a 300-foot walkway now. So it's been in that particular area for quite a few years, and we do the Christmas Land there, and then of course we do the Easter Bunny Lane there too. So we do 2 displays a year.
Right. So the switching out of all of that has to be quite an operation.
It's a quick turn, and it's a lot of work.
But the Christmas lane opens in September, right, and goes through the end of December.
Exactly. Christmas Land opens September 10th every year, and it's open through December 31st.
And do you really get a lot of people in September?
We do. We do. People in August will stop and say, "When's Christmas Land opening?" You have a lot of customers that are anxious to see it. So we have a few people lined up at the door on September 10th to be the first to see the display.
So as this all started happening, you realized you had to sell what was on the trees, and then you had to pick up on the new ideas out there and keep adding them to your display. Is that a challenge to do that every year?
It is, because Christmas Land is new every year, so we start with new trees every year, new decorations, new lights, and it's an opportunity to showcase the new decorations, maybe new colors, a new way to decorate. So it's a challenge for our staff to come up with those ideas. But we start in January on the planning for next year's display.
So what what other things have you had to add to the store based on the fact that you have so many kids and families coming through here for several months of the year? There are some departments that have been added that are way beyond greenhouse and that kind of thing.
Exactly. Of course, I mentioned we had the trees and the decorations and the light sets, and anything to do with Christmas decorating. We consider ourselves a one-stop shop for that. Being that Christmas Land opens in September, it was a natural to get into the toy business. We didn't sell toys from the beginning, so we added toys to the mix because that is necessary for the fourth quarter. And so we have a wide array of toys in our department. We're full-line toys as well. We also added sports merchandise from college teams to NFL teams to baseball teams.
More Christmas gifts, right?
More Christmas gifts. And then we also have a floral department that sells cut flowers and not only live plants, we also have artificial. And then we have a full-line gift department too.
Wow. So you're open all year, right?
We are open year-round.
Yes. Are there any days you're closed?
We're closed on Thanksgiving Day and Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And also 4th of July.
Oh, well, okay. But other than that, anyone can come here at any time. And can you shop Christmas items anytime? Are these shelves full of Christmas items all year round?
We start putting the Christmas merchandise out at the end of July. And so we're getting our merchandise all set up so we could be prepared to decorate our trees. So the best time would be September 10th on through December 31st.
To really see a full line.
Exactly, because then afterwards we're preparing for the spring season, for the Easter display and the spring flowers, and of course we have 2 acres of greenhouses that we're selling live plants for outdoor planting.
So it's really an all season, all year kind of place to visit.
Yes.
So, but if I needed a string of Christmas lights right in the middle of July, you would have them,
I
right?
can accommodate you.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, we do have lights that we stock year round. The clear lights, oftentimes for weddings and things.
Gardens,
in
and
gardens.
people put them on their houses in the summer.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, so is everyone in the family in this business? Do you all work together and make this happen?
There's several family members that work together, and as I mentioned, there's a staff that sits down with the planning of the display, and I like to think of all the employees as family because we do everything from within. Our cashiers will help us. We have maintenance staff that helps us, doing our animation and our props. So everything's done from in-house, and our floral department helps decorate the trees.
It must be fun, I would think, kind of a fun job to have to do this every year.
It is. There's a lot of variety, and no 2 years are the same. You had mentioned what's new. There's new things in the Christmas, decorating. There's always new things in the toy industry. So you're always, adding new to the mix.
Yeah, and it also must, I would think, bring you a lot of joy because it's centered around a holiday that is so full of happiness for kids and families.
Exactly. It's one of the few things that you could come every year as a family because the display's free. It's fun to see the excitement in the children's faces and the adults. Grandparents are bringing their grandkids through now, and they came through as youngsters. So they'll often pick out some of the past animation that we will bring back out of retirement, and they'll say, "I remember seeing that years ago." So we have a lot of that family tradition that's been started.
Do you keep the vintage stuff? Do you have some vintage collections where you showcase some old things?
We do.
Yeah.
We do, yes. Or we may dress them differently, or put them in a different vignette.
Yeah, those are fun. The moving parts are always the fun ones for the kids to watch. The people move and the trains move and all of that. So, what do you see for the future? This has been a long time business here, same name, same family. What do you see for the future?
Well, we're pressing forward. We see our business growing, and there's always new generations that have not seen Christmas Land. And it's interesting, even if somebody moves out of the area, when they come visit family, in the area, they'll want to come through Christmas Land, or family will want to take them through here to see what the new display is.
It's a destination too, right? You get
Exactly.
people from all over the place.
Exactly. We get a lot of Pittsburgh, a lot of Cleveland, a lot of the Youngstown and Akron area.
Do you think there's a place like this anywhere else? I mean, I've been around to stores like this around the area, but I have never really, there's not quite a Kraynak's anywhere else that I've seen so far.
Right. There's a lot of Christmas stores. There's some year-round stores, and particularly in resort areas. But in my travels, I haven't seen anything like the display that we do. It's very unique, and it is a lot of work goes into that. Maybe that's one of the reasons.
Do you talk to the people at Frankenmuth ever and compare
Yes,
notes?
yes,
Do you
yes.
really?
We know the people at Frankenmuth. And
It's like we have our own right here. You don't even need to go to Michigan. So what have you enjoyed about it the most, do you think, over all the years? What is your favorite thing about being part of this family and this store?
Boy, that's a tough question. I think that the challenge of no 2 years are the same. So this business has been exciting because you're preparing for it. You're coming up with new displays, new purchases. Working with people has been fun. Employees and customers, always meeting new people, and just interacting with the families that come through here. And I like to go back to the children, seeing the children wanting to come through once a week to see the display, or grandparents bringing them when they're watching them. That's been a joy.
The light department, right? All kinds of lights for Christmas. And these are what you were talking about, the cluster lights?
Yes, these are the new cluster lights that you'll see some later in trees and in wreaths and garlands and so forth, but they really make a statement with a lot of light.
They do, because instead of just having like 50 or 100 on a strand, you have how many on a strand?
Well, this 10-foot section has 448 lights on there.
On one 10-foot section?
On one 10-foot section.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a lot of lights, and also
Wow.
they're multi-function. As you can see, I think there's 9 functions that these go through, but you could put steady on if you'd like. But there's also
like this is steady on, this is blinking, and then there's some that, what do you call it?
Slow blinking, there's a fade, there's a random twinkle, doors.
Right.
And we have our traditional lights, which we always sell in solid
Right.
colors and
Different colors, yeah.
multi-colors.
That's me, that's what I'm all about.
And then behind us we have the new LED lighting.
Right.
And they're very low on energy, and you can plug many together without blowing fuses.
So now we've made a little detour into the ornament area, which is, how big is this area? How many rooms?
Well, this is one big room, but it's 100 by 30 feet of nothing but ornaments.
Wow, and as I'm even glancing around, you can have an ornament here, find an ornament for any particular hobby, passion, tree theme, right? Anything?
There's a very large selection here. Traditional ornaments, and then there's novelty ornaments, and then there's licensed ornaments, and a lot of kids' ornaments as well.
Who gets to do the buying for this? Do you get to do this?
I get to do some of this, yes. Yeah, there's a team of us that they go on the buying trips.
And you have to keep up with like whatever the recent trends are. Like I'm looking behind and I see, you know, we've got like the Game of Thrones ornaments and all of the different TV shows and things like that where you could actually, you know, make sure those people find what they want to put on their tree.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so as we come in here, well, of course I have to stop already. Look at the reindeer. Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
You got all 8 of them, right? And is Rudolph there?
Rudolph is there, right in the center here.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh my gosh. So how many rooms are there right here?
There's 4 rooms, 4 major rooms, but there's a lot of different scenes within each room.
So how many different scenes do you have this year?
There's probably about 20 scenes.
And does each person, is there a person for each one that designs, or is it a collective thing?
It's a collective effort, and then as we start developing the different scenes, there's different people that will take to a particular area and decorate.
Oh, and this one is all white, and this is the Peanuts crowd, so that's a nice theme, all the snow.
Yes, this is our flock scene. If you notice, there's a lot of flock trees that we're showcasing here, and a lot of snow. And
are those popular?
Flock trees are, yes, especially with a lot of lights. Clear lights really show up on the flock trees.
Right, you have to show me when we get to those, the ones that we were talking about, the cluster lights.
And this is a new light in the back, might I mention. It's a it's a curtain light, and it's a nice backdrop.
It is,
decorating.
yes. And against the mirrors, it looks really good too because it's extra. Okay, so this display here, I was saying penguins, but actually, some little animations there that you say have been around for a long time?
That is one of our original animated pieces that have been very popular. Now, we don't use them every year, but we brought them back this year, and they used to be white, but we changed the coloration on them, gave them some colorful clothing this year.
They look good. They look really good with all the penguins and all the snow and ice, the so-called ice. It looks pretty good. And then back there, that tree's getting my attention. Is that what we just talked about with those lights?
Yes, we saw cluster lights earlier. That's a cluster lights tree, and that's a brand new 9-foot tree this year that's showcasing those.
And they are those many lights on one strand, and you can set them to do whatever you want.
Exactly.
So right there, they're doing a lot of different things.
We're letting them go through all the many functions, but you could, if you have a function that you like, you could just
I wouldn't want that one.
Steady
That
on.
would drive me crazy. but the twinkling is gorgeous, and there's so many. It like seems like it would take all the effort out of putting the lights exactly in a certain place. Like you could just wrap it up, and there it is.
Yeah, most of the lights sold today are pre-lit. So the tree comes out of a box, and the lights are on the tree.
Right, and then all the work is done for you. Yeah, that's very nice. Very different than what it used to be. So you said the penguins are new, right?
The penguins are some new animation this year. Our staff came up with that and created that effect.
This is like a half a tree, right? And you can get the half tree and put it against a wall like in an awkward spot.
Exactly. This is a half tree that we have them on each side of that spinning
wall.
turntable there.
Yeah, I know someone who needed one of those in their kitchen, and she found one, and they're hard to find. I mean, I guess this would be the place.
Right.
Let's keep going. Okay, so in this one, I see you're pulling in the popular toys with an Elmo, because you probably sell Elmo in the store too, right?
Yes, this is our Christmas farm scene, and Elmo is one of the most popular Sesame Street characters, and we do sell all the Sesame Street plush, so we brought him in a display this year. And he happens to be sitting on it's actually a wheel horse that from 1960.
Wow.
So we'll incorporate different nostalgic props and put them in the display.
So do you have one of those, or do you borrow certain things from people?
That was actually loaned from a collector for us to use this year. But we've had pianos and motorcycles and small trucks in here before.
It's very interesting. Beyond the Christmas trees, there's all kinds of things to look at. And I can see how your staff has come up with a lot of clever ideas, because this is where the mice live, so everything is to their scale, like the box of matches that they're sleeping in as a bed.
Exactly, and this is large piece of cheese here.
The pizza cheese, and then over here, like the wall that they're coming through with the little hole in the wall. I mean, it's adorable. It's very clever, with the big spools of thread. Of course, you got to throw the Nutcracker in there, because you know the Nutcracker and the mice fight.
After sitting down in January and coming up with the themes for Christmas, then we'll start making the props immediately, and then we'll put the background paper up first, and then we'll put the props in, and then the trees will be set up the end of July.
Okay.
Which leaves the decorating in August. So the month of August is definitely dedicated to decorating these trees.
So pretty. And then now this is an angel in the middle of all of this. That's lovely.
And there's our cluster lights again on a flock tree.
Oh, wow. And they're a yellowy color, right? That's a different color, right?
That's called a warm white. So it does have a more yellow cast than the cool white.
It is warm. So what do you call this kind of tree here? What do you call this one?
This is our own creation here. You really can't buy this. This was something that was designed by one of our staff, and so it's a homemade tree.
It's like a wreath tree. I would call it made of reeds.
Exactly, and it's a great way to show off large ornaments. Very large ornaments.
I noticed there are numbers on the trees, and are those just to keep you guys organized, or what are those for?
Every tree has a number, and from year to year, the amount of trees in Christmas land changes. So we might have 70, we might have 100, but they're all labeled. So if you want to inquire about a particular tree, at the end of the display, we have an itemized book that will have all the ornaments on it and which tree we decorated and it'll direct you in the store to where you can purchase any of the ornaments.
Which probably cuts down on confusion and lost people looking for things.
Right, right, and it helps us direct them properly.
That's a great idea. That is great that you're organized, but you should be after all these years, right? You've had some practice. So this is a whole different theme here.
A lot of our customers are looking to match a particular room, different colors in the room, and we'll incorporate a lot of floral in our decorating, as you can see.
Right.
We use a lot of silk flowers and a lot of ribbons.
Well, they fill up the tree nicely. Like if there are holes in the tree, those big puffy flowers are great to kind of fill it all in.
And they add a lot of color too.
Sure. And then what kind of tree is this? This is interesting.
This is just a tree with rice lights on it. And it's just a twig tree. And the lights are right in the stems.
And it comes glittery like that?
Yes.
It's beautiful. Oh my goodness, it's overwhelming. Okay, so we're coming near the end, and this seems to be a very ornate and bejeweled and lovely display of trees here. Is this a special one?
Yes, this is in the last room of the display, and we always reserve the last room for the nativity scene.
It has somewhat of some religious themes, angels, that kind of thing, but all different colors, so you can actually match it to anything any theme in your house, right?
Right, more subtle colors in here, and we have different trees with the angels on or showcasing the nativity.
Oh, there's a blue tree. Oh my goodness. Now, do you have different colors of trees like that?
We
Just
do.
Silver
We do have that's kind of a turquoise color tree, and then we passed the gold one earlier. Then there's some silver ones, and there's even a red.
Oh, wow. Wow, it's just amazing. And then we've come to the end. Do you always end like this? Is this?
Yes, we always end with the nativity, and then this is the end of the display here.
So you've brought a lot of happiness to a lot of people. You must feel great about that.
A lot of people have come through here over the years, and you know, it's been neat to see a lot of different people that have helped, you know, in the contribution of putting the display together.
Mm-hmm. It's lovely. It's worth seeing many times because you could come through many times and see something new every time, I think, even in 1 year.
Right, right. I still walk through and see something that strikes me. You end the Christmas tree lane and you're right at the entrance to the place where all the trees are, right? Oh my goodness. Right,
Endless
you're
amounts of trees.
walking into an area here that we have all the trees set up
Endless
that are
rows.
undecorated. There's over 100
Right.
trees to choose from here.
So these are mostly undecorated trees, except for the lights.
Right, these are the trees shown undecorated, so if you just want to purchase a tree, you could choose from over 100 trees out in these
right
areas.
Here. Okay, but I see you can buy a tree that has Santa attached.
Yes, a lot of people want a tree with Santa maybe in their foyer as an addition. So yeah, there's a couple different variations.
Oh my, lots of choices.
Also have a lot of table trees here.
Right,
if
lower
you want
ones.
Smaller trees.
Trees with flocked branches, trees with colored lights, trees with pine cones already on them. Oh my goodness, I don't know how people, I guess they have to have an idea what they really want, because otherwise, like me, when I like so many things, it's very hard to decide.
It's a hard decision sometimes. We even have the pencil trees for smaller areas or apartments. But all of these trees are decorated in the display, so if they want to see the tree decorated, we could point them in that direction as well.
So we can't forget about those people who want a live Christmas tree, right? You have those, you can accommodate.
Exactly, we can. 1,000 feet behind this store, we have a full-line nursery that sells the live trees, roping, and live wreaths as well. So we have live goods in our garden center.
And that goes on all year too. You change out for other things that people are buying all throughout the year from your nurseries and garden center.
Right, we have a full line of shrubbery that we grow, supply ourselves for sale. So there's shrubbery, trees, anything to do with lawn and garden.
At Kraynak's, it's easy to get distracted from the Christmas trees to the toys to the candy. But remember this, with the nursery and garden center, Kraynak's is open in Hermitage all year round. And for hours, directions, and information, you can go to kraynaks.com. For Vision of the Valley, I'm Tricia Perry.